Mark, you up?
A phone call coming in. Yes, we're live.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, October 8th, 2024. It's now 10 a.m. We're here for the regular session of the Hunt County Commissioners Court. At this time, I'll call the meeting to order and ask Commissioner Martin to lead us in prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to our flags.
Shall we bow? Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for everything that you have given us. If you will, we pray for those that have been hurt, flooded out, also lost loved ones over in the northeast of the United States. We pray for those that are seeking or getting ready to be hit again with it. May thy will be done in reference to this. We ask you and thank you for the gift of life, and we ask you to bless this meeting today. May we do it in a righteous, understanding, with patience and honor. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, everyone. This morning we have Commissioner Hutchins, Monroe, Martin, and Harrison present. I'm Judge Stovall presiding over the meeting this morning. Commissioners, you have the minutes from the September 23rd, 2024 special session. Entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Commissioners, you got the September 24th, 2024 regular session minutes. Entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Commissioners, you have the minutes from September 27th special session. Entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. At this time, we'll have public testimony. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes and should conduct themselves in a civil manner. The Commissioners Court cannot take action on the items not listed on the agenda in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. Concerns will be addressed by county staff. They may be placed on a future agenda or addressed by some other course of response. Mark White. David Mark White this time.
Well, I felt like I hadn't been properly providing sufficient entertainment for a while, so I thought I'd come.
We've had enough, thank you.
There has been some excitement.
Are you akin to Mark White?
I am not, but I worked for Governor Bill Clements when Mark White was in office. Pretty interesting. Well, thank you guys for allowing me to speak this morning. As I'm sure you're aware, Farmersville City Council voted last night to move forward with an attempt to properly annex the Chaparral Trail this time, and I suspect they'll get it right this time. So this, in my mind, is a willful, intentional attempt to create a sure conflict between themselves and the upcoming election regarding the potential incorporation of the town of Merritt. So to say the least, this has been very interesting, and I have learned significant amounts of information regarding how local governments work and city councils, and I just want to thank everyone who has been involved from the Merritt area. What a great community of people who are really wanting to help their neighbors. I've personally encouraged others to investigate and do their own research to make sure they're well informed of what they should or should not do regarding the growth that is coming to our area. Certainly, the aggressive approach by Farmersville was and continues to be very concerning, but it has certainly brought to light the significant growth that is coming to both Hunt County and to the western edge of Hunt County in particular. Unfortunately, there are some individuals that have erroneously claimed that the information is being hidden or some clandestine cloak and dagger process is being used behind their back. Some claim they were never made aware of the incorporation plans. Others claim that I didn't, or anybody didn't personally visit them in their home to inform them of what was going on, but yet they've attended numerous community meetings, so I'm not sure exactly how to respond to that. Still, others have placed their confidence in SB 2038, which is certainly under attack by, I believe it's 24 cities now, to overturn that law. And I guess it's important to realize that 1 to 5% of all state laws passed in the previous legislature gets overturned. So that means 7 to 38 of those laws that were passed last session are going to get overturned. And I would not be surprised if this one does. I agree with Thomas Jefferson. Difference of opinion leads to inquiry, and inquiry leads to truth. I absolutely believe we should be discussing pros and cons of all the options to manage the growth coming towards Merritt. I'll continue to encourage people to educate themselves, regardless of whether they agree or disagree with that potential incorporation. I want them to look at the facts, determine what's best for them and the community, and then enter a civil debate. Let's talk. Because it really helps no one to try and bully and threaten others just because they disagree with you. So thank you all for what you do. I have come to greatly appreciate the amount of pressure that you guys can handle. And you handle it very gracefully. So thank you all.
Thank you, Mark. That it? Anybody else wish to speak? If not, I'll close the public testimony. Commissioners, under new business, you've got the consent calendar. Entertain a motion for approval.
So moved?
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Under item B, action items, approval of accounts payable.
I make a motion, we pay the bills.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Approval of line item transfers.
Make a motion to approve line item transfers.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Commissioners, I'm going to move the approval of budget amendments till after executive session. Approval of payroll and personnel.
Make a motion to approve payroll and personnel.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 1, discuss and pass resolution allowing the sale of fireworks on Diwali Day for calendar periods listed in the Texas Occupation Code, Section 2154.202H, 1 through 3, and that this authorization continue until revoked by the Commissioners Court, and that this is authorized subject to fire marshal bans or other state laws. Richard, you want to brief us?
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners Court. Last year, we passed the specialty holiday of Diwali for the sale of fireworks. The resolution was passed for it was a one-time, 1 year. This year, we're bringing it before you for the prior to the state regulated date of October the 15th that it has to be passed by, and asking that you pass it until revoked by the court.
Yes.
Does anybody have any questions?
Any questions? Thank you, Richard. Entertain a motion for approval.
So moved. Second?
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item 2, economic development incentive package proposal discussion for commerce area business. Bonnie, you want to start?
Thank you. Good morning.
Pull it on. There you go.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. I'm here this morning to request a tax abatement on behalf of 4 different companies that will be moving into the former Covidian building in Commerce, located at 400 Maple Street. This is a approximate 310,000 square foot building. A lot of people know this as the former Sherwood building. It sat vacant from 2013 until June of 2021, when a gentleman named John Wolfington purchased the building for the Nexi Company. From that point, the building, they started to renovate the interior of the building, and then it has sat vacant. The building went back up for sale in 2023. And a company from Sulphur Springs, you may be familiar with Signature Solar. James Showalter owns that building. He did look at our facility several years ago. When it came back up for sale, he revisited it again. They did not have a building in Sulphur Springs for him, and they needed to expand. Right now, they have 4 companies that are going to come into this building. Back in May, they signed a lease purchase agreement with the current owner of the building. So it is currently under a lease purchase, and EG4 Electronics, Big Battery LLC, and Outback Power LLC will actually be operating a manufacturing plant inside. They will be doing manufacturing of batteries and inverters for the solar panels. Another company by the name of 400 Maple Street LLC will be the owner of the real estate. What we're asking is for a tax abatement for 400 Maple Street LLC for the real property. And then, I know it has to be on the added value. They've already put in $1.5 million to renovations for the building. Equipment has been ordered, and some of the materials from Outback Power have already come in from Washington State. Big Battery is a company that's coming into us from California. So they're all pulling together because they will be doing these inverters and batteries for Signature Solar, for the panels. We currently, the EDC currently has an incentive package with them, and the City of Commerce has offered them a 380 agreement. So we have put some incentives out there on the table for them, and we're asking for your support. Currently, looking at some, Signature Solar has, they started off in May of '23, and by November of '23, they hired their first employee, and by last May, they had 300 employees over there. So we know they're a sound company. The owner of Signature Solar is the majority owner of 3 of the 4 companies coming into this building. And then, yes, sir?
Are these the gentlemen that you're talking with that own the company back there?
No, James is not here.
James is not here. I do have the CFO for the companies with me today, Mr. Brian Foley. He is here today, and he'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have on it. He's also the CFO for Signature Solar.
Bonnie, they've already started doing some stuff in the building. I think they've got a
Yes.
chiller on the way to help replace and some stuff like that. So
Yes.
They're already working on the building right now.
As soon as they were able to establish a lease, they started some renovations.
So they've got a lease purchase agreement, is that what it is?
And they're hoping to purchase the building by the end of fiscal year. So by the end of December, they're hoping to have this purchase in place. If not, by the end of December, by January. Is their hope.
If I may, how many people do you have working at the location at this time? And I realize that you're just now getting started.
Yes. Well, currently, Brian,
And
because
also
most of
I'd
it's
like to
renovations at
know
this
what your,
time.
future plans are in reference to it, okay?
Yes, sir. So thanks for having me here.
Yes.
So today, the 4 companies, we are staging equipment in there right now. We've spent $1.5 million. We have a $1 million order for the chiller that's on its way. Big Battery will have 40, 45 people in immediately. We have our temporary CO we've got yesterday. So they're moving in the next 30 days. Outback is another company. They have about 20 employees that they'll put in there immediately, starting in November. And then EG4, which is our company. I'm CFO and part owner of Signature Solar and EG4 as well. We will have probably 15 people immediately, with the need to hire about 100 people in the next 9 months. And we should be operational in mid-November for our first production line.
Okay. Anybody else? I'm totally supportive of getting that building up and running, but I do have a couple of questions. Daniel, you may have to help me here. So we're already doing improvements, and you're on a lease. Are we going to be able to do everything they're asking us for, and then when they've got 4 different companies in there, how we going, is that all going to fit what we need to do? Or Jay can help us too.
It's, it's not going to be possible to do a full abatement on the, all of the new value they're adding right now, because you can't do a retroactive abatement in
Okay.
Texas.
Okay.
So proactively, yes, but what we're talking about here is, I mean, they're going to do different things after any abatement goes through. The first thing that's going to happen will be discussed in executive session. There's an item on there related to Nexus, the company who owns it now.
Okay.
I put that on there for discussion today, because depending on what happens, what your decisions are after executive session, different things will happen at different times, but there's at least a 45 to 60 day time frame that's necessary for this type of abatement normally, if it's done from scratch. We don't have to do one of those things, which is to establish a reinvestment zone, because that's already in place. We will have to, depending on the types of abatements they're looking for, other incentives, whether it's Freeport or tax abatements or rebates. There are different timelines attached to those, the most important of which is a 30-day timeline for a tax abatement, 7-day for rebate. The Freeport doesn't have the same sort of time frame attached to it. So none of the things that they've already done are going to be subject to abatement. But they're going to be doing stuff up to the time that they purchase it and after that would potentially be subject to that abatement. So the abatement would take as a zero value, the value as is, that is appraised on January 1st. And I don't know how that appraisal is going to happen, whether they're going to change that once it changes hands or what. But some of that will be captured. Most of what they've done so far will not be.
Okay, so it'll be an abatement for the building on the improvements, if any are available, and then each of the companies will be asking for it for equipment?
For a business person, yes. 400 Maple Street will be asking for the real property. And then for EG4 Electronics, Big Battery, and Outback Power, those 3 companies were asking for the business personal.
Okay,
And then if a Freeport would be an option, we would also,
for each of them.
because they will have, yes, so they would be 3 different agreements for the business personal, and then one for the real property.
Daniel?
I know
Little different, that's why I'm asking, I'm trying to understand how we're doing all this. So
Yes.
it's a little different, okay.
Yes, because they'll all be operating together, but yet separately. It's kind of,
What about Freeport? We could possibly, if everything works out, go that route, but would it be individually or would it be for the whole thing? How would you cut that?
It would have to be individual based on the way that they're doing things. It's not all being funneled through one group before it's sent to other places, right? So those would be individual. So we'd potentially be looking at 1 tax abatement, 3 or 4 other business personal property abatements or rebates, and then 3 to 4 separate Freeport agreements, all of which could be done at the same meeting or 2 meetings, but before the end of the year.
So today is just for a presentation, and hopefully you see we got, I hope you know we got, you got my support, and I think you'll have the court's support. I can't speak for the others, but we look forward to having a new company anytime coming to our communities, and especially Commerce. It's had that building vacant so long, it needs to be filled.
we had high hopes for Nexi when they came in, but we're seeing action with this company.
Brian, maybe we should have had James come here with his whiteboard and do a presentation.
Yes,
And we went, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago to a tour over there in Silver Springs, the facility. If any of you get time, go over, holler at Brian, holler at Bonnie. It's a very impressive site over there to go tour and see everything that's done over there. And obviously James he's hands-on, he cares about his employees and the product he serves. So I'd recommend, if you get a chance, go over there and see the company that's potentially going to come to Hunt County.
What kind of time frame is, we're talking about by the end of the calendar year, or is it into next year, or?
So we plan to start manufacturing right away in November, and our major line will be set up by January 1st for producing a lot more.
Okay.
So
My
Or
first,
just that one company, the battery company coming from California, or all of them?
battery company will be moving in the next 30 or 45 days. Outback is already there now. And then EG4 us, we're already there getting set up. The lines start going in November 15th.
have you already got to ECQ in reference to the approval, in reference to the battery thing, or do you have to have their permission? In reference to batteries?
Oh, for the batteries?
Yes.
So these batteries are lithium iron phosphate.
Okay.
So they're much more stable than a typical car battery, which are lithium ion.
Yes.
So we have that. We have insurance on everything as well.
Appreciate you coming to Hunt County. Hope it works out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Are there any other questions?
Commissioners? No. Thank you,
you.
Bonnie. No action today other than that, okay. Action item number 3, amended notice in order of election for Town of Merritt.
Item I'm passing out for the one after this.
Oh, okay. First say, it doesn't look like we're,
I'm passing that out because that one wasn't in your packet. All right, so the amended notice, all this does, it keeps everything the same as it was, except that it changes the order and notice to Town of Merritt rather than City of Merritt. That was, town is the word that was used in the application. And so, and even though there's no legal distinction anymore between a town and a city, not since the mid-'80s, when the classification system of type A, B, and C municipalities came into place, to avoid any sort of secondary consequence like court pleading saying that the notice and the order or the ballot were deficient. We're asking the court to amend the notice and order of election just on that one single word.
okay. Commissioners, any questions? Entertain a motion for approval.
So moved?
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 4, cooperative purchase agreement between,
May I ask a question in reference to this? What type of town would this be called?
It'll be called Town of Merritt. Are you asking what level, A,
A,
B, or
B,
C
or-
municipality?
Yes.
It's A, right? Yeah.
Is it A?
A. Yeah, and that is determined by the way that the application is filed, which has to do with the number of square feet in the town and the number of residents. So there's very strict requirements on whether you're an A, B, or C.
Yes.
They applied, and their application was checked to comply with subchapter A, which is where type A municipality comes from.
Thank you.
okay, action item 4, cooperative purchase agreement between Hunt County and the City of Commerce. Daniel?
All right, that's the thing that I just passed out. Basically, Commerce is upgrading their radio system to a P25 system. The only thing that this does is allows them to piggyback on Hunt County for all of its contracts for the radio, similar to the way that we piggyback constantly on other governments who've gone through the bidding requirements in the Purchasing Act. So that's all this is doing a cooperative agreement between them. It's not going to result in any expenses to the county. Long-term, it will likely result in some savings, or at least a beefed-up system, because the system is so interoperable that the more cities and other jurisdictions that are on this system, the more powerful the effect is from the interoperability of the radio towers. And I'm sure you'll all remember that we put one of our towers for this system is in the Commerce area. And so this, they're going with this system because they believe it'll give them the greatest amount of in-building radio reception. That all this is just allows them to piggyback on Hunt County's existing contracts.
Any questions? Entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Got Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item 5, the fiscal year 2025 statewide automated victim notification service savings grant contract by and between the OAG and Hunt County and the fiscal year 2025 participating entity services agreement for the statewide automated victim service by and between APRIS Inc. and Hunt County. Commissioners, entertain a motion for approval of this.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 6, proposal for Tyler Technology for enterprise case management notifications for the use by the courts in Hunt County for 24-25 fiscal year. This agreement is a 3-year contract with fixed annual fees in the amount of $25,000 yearly and one-time fees for Tyler services, which include project management, setup, configuration, and consulting, training, and employment in the amount of $15,040 for a contract total of $90,040. Funding from financial software support line item 10-621-3105-224. Commissioners, any questions?
This is going to complete that, this will be all that be done to where we'll have them up to grade in reference to all the courts being able to meet or get information. Is that true, or is there another step to it?
I don't know that that's true or false. My understanding is this is an upgrade of needed software to help them manage their court system, is what I understood.
This allows them to talk with each other and confirm.
They can see each other. What they're
Yes.
doing is my kind of, to help coordinate them is what I understood. It coordinates them all. Entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor. Whoop.
I said, I'm glad we didn't cut this line item during budget process.
Yeah. Got a motion second, all in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 7, a resolution of the Hunt County Commissioners Court nominating a candidate or candidates to the Hunt County Appraisal District Board of Directors, setting an effective date. Commissioners, I've got a letter from Brent South at the Appraisal District, and it's this time of year, we have to, because of the new law, SB 2, where it created 3 members for the Appraisal District Board to be voted on at large, with 5 members being appointed still by the entities as it always has been. This year, we're appointing, I think we appoint 5 this year, and then they're going to draw 3 members will serve a 4-year term, and the other 2 will serve 2, and then from now on, they'll be on 4-year terms moving forward. The present members that are on the board that are up are Tyson Cox, Bob Grove, and Paul Painter, Mike Taylor, and Howard Winans. In the past, we've continued to keep the continuity of the board. And this is not a vote for anybody today. This is just nominees. So if we want to nominate these 5 or some of the 5 or somebody else, that's up to this court. And then later in the year, we'll have all the nominees from all the other entities, and then we'll be able to vote from that list on who we want to serve for us. So I'd recommend we appoint these 5.
I'm assuming they all still want to continue to serve.
My understanding. Yeah.
Judge, I know we're running up kind of against the clock on this. I think, to be clear, 2 of these will draw for 2-year terms, the other
I think 3 will draw.
3 will draw.
And the 2 others will be 2 will serve 2-year terms and 3 will serve a 4-year term.
So this court will, in the other tax entities, every 2 years will be going through this process.
Correct. That's my understanding. And then the voting happens, I think, every 4 years. The ones that the public are voting on.
The 3 that are elected by the public, and
That's my understanding.
those 3 are on the ballot for this November. So that's
No, I think they were voted in last year, I think.
last year. Okay,
Yeah.
I forget if that happened already or not.
Yes, that's already happened. Well, that was in the May election, and we only had 3 file, and they're at large, so don't have to be in any particular area of the county. So don't remember, who were they? Roland Love down around the lake, David Bench, and, who was the third? I don't remember.
I had a couple people reach out to me who had expressed interest in serving this capacity. At the time, it was a couple weeks ago, I told them I wasn't sure when this was going to be coming back around, and obviously just did today. So I have resumes that they submitted to me. I'm happy to pass out, and I know it's short notice. Maybe the thing to do would just be if maybe the court needs to set a more formal process for future selections so that we can advise people from the public who wish to be nominated by this court for them to reach out to us with resumes and give us time to review them and such. I do have,
Again, you're welcome to put those forward if you want to.
sure, I'm happy to do so.
It's not, there's no restriction on it. If you want to do it, then we can look at it, but we don't have to vote for a while.
Sure,
You're on that. Judge, is Larry Pierre, is he on that board?
No, sir. I don't know if anybody in Quinlan will nominate him, or if he's asked if he wants to serve or not.
Well, I know he's basically on a board down there, but I didn't know.
He may be on the review board, and if he's on the review board, he can't be on the big board.
Yes.
The review board gets paid. This board doesn't.
No, you're good now. Thank you.
All right, anybody want to make a motion to?
Could you give us a second for?
Sure.
I mean, I'd make a motion to add Jeremy Martin and Cassandra Martin to the list.
To the five that are currently on serving: Tyson Cox, Jim Bob Grove, Paul Painter, and Mike Taylor, and Howard Wines.
Yes, sir.
So we have a motion to appoint 7 people then.
May I ask a question?
Absolutely.
I noticed that these people have the last name. Are they married?
No, they're not.
One lives in Celeste and one lives in Greenville, looks like, or no one's in
I believe
Bland.
they're related, but they're not married. Daniel, are we limited in the number we can put forward? Because I know we have a certain number of votes and they're weighted on those.
I don't know, I'm not researching that, I believe it's 3, but I don't.
No, well, are you talking about for today, or are you talking?
Today.
Today, I don't know of any restriction as far as the number of nominees. Of course, like I said, all the other taxing entities in the county are nominating people too, so whether they nominate, some of these are people that have been nominated and voted on by other entities, not us. I think
For the public's benefit, it's a weighted vote.
it is a weighted vote based on, I think, the tax values of each entity is how the percentage of number of votes gets up. There's a total of like 25 or 5,000 total votes, and those are split between some percentage of, I think it's the
so-
appraised value of each entity. And,
Hunt County has 1,095, Greenville ISD has 1,005.
right.
And those are the two big ones, and there's some others as well. It ranged anywhere from 5 votes
Yep,
to.
they're all through the area, and, in the past, before this election at large of the members, they'd pretty much been nominated and controlled by, like South Hunt County went together and nominated one, and they all voted for it, and Northwest kind of all went together and voted one, and Northeast kind of voted for one, and then Central kind of just split it up. So there was representation all through the county, and with these are kind of Paul Painters and Caddo Mills, Jim Bob's over in Commerce. The other 3 are in and around the Greenville area. And like I said, the other members that were voted in were Cache area, Quinlan, and I don't remember who the third one was now.
Yeah, resumes in front of you, they'd be from the Wagner, Merritt, and
Yeah.
Celeste area. So that would be consistent with the
I
pattern.
would suggest they go talk to those entities up there.
Correct. Yeah, that would be the next step for them, because.
Yes.
Yeah. So, anyway, with that being said, I would make a motion, we put their names forward to the other entities with the other 5.
Okay. I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. You get these, or you want them? Okay. All right, action number 8, discuss and possibly take action on interlocal agreement between the town of Portree and Hunt County for tree trimming along roadside of 2 roads within the city limits. David? Entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second?
Got a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action number 9, acceptance of public improvement for Caddo Crossing Phase 2 and adding the streets into the Precinct 2 inventory, Foxtrot Lane, .33 miles, Silver Fox Circle, .08 miles, Blue Fox Circle, .08 miles, and Precinct 2. Brian, you want to brief us?
This is the last phase of Caddo Crossing. The first one was accepted a couple months ago, and this is ending the 2-year maintenance bond. There was inspection of the subdivision with the engineer, and we have a letter from him stating that it meets and has held up. These are roads that will now be our responsibility to maintain and upkeep.
David, you've looked at them?
Yes, sir. They're in good shape.
Okay.
Engineer signed off on it?
Yes,
Which engineer was that?
Mark.
Mark? Okay. All right, entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second?
Got a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Amending plat for Bonanno Artiolo Estates in Precinct 4. I hope I didn't butcher that too bad.
That got it pretty good. There was some concern from from one of the owners regarding the acreage amounts. So they went in and refigured them and got the acreage to where the owner was happy. Everybody's happy. Both lot owners are satisfied with it. So they're doing the amending plat to change those few numbers.
Just a rounding error on 2 or 3 decimal places.
It was a round, yes, that's right. They went out to decimal places and they were concerned about that.
Okay. Entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 11, the preliminary plat for White Oak Farms in Precinct 1.
Okay, this is the preliminary plat, so this is mainly to get the court's approval for the layout of, so that the engineers can go ahead and finish up the engineering, determining finished floors and everything, so that they can submit civil plans for review and approval. And then, of course, once they do that and get into the construction process, then they'll come back with a final plat.
Any questions?
Meets all our specs.
I'm sorry?
Have we discussed that before?
We had a pre-D meeting with them. I've had several discussions with the engineer regarding the plans, so they're moving along. There are just a few things they want to get ironed out with lot count and things such as that, so that they know how to proceed.
They've got any potential drainage issues settled particularly down at the end there in those larger lots?
There's some, Vance, is there floodplain on this? There's not a lot of floodplain. It was a little bit.
You need to come to the mic, Vance, sorry.
Sorry, Vance.
This is Vance Lyles. He's the engineer on the project for the developers.
So there is floodplain that kind of runs along the southeast corner of the property. There is a BLE model associated with that that we've analyzed for the impact of converting this from open pasture to 1 to 2 acre lots. It doesn't show that there's going to be any impact to that floodplain. We've looked downstream and upstream. And then the road will be a concrete roadway with open ditch. The ditch will connect down directly to that creek.
Perfect.
No detention or anything?
No, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, that answers my question.
Tell me this, from my understanding, basically, you do some of the engineering for the county aspect. Do we have someone for the county that looked at all this?
Yeah, Mark.
Yes.
We have both MTG and Mark Hickman. If they're involved in a project, the other one reviews it.
Good enough.
So we don't have any conflicts. They both get to work, but they both review each other's work. So.
That's right. That's why we have the primary and secondary engineers, so that, because they both work in the area, so.
Good enough, thank you.
Entertain a motion for approval?
So moved? Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item 12, the replat of Lot 15 of Mockingbird subdivision in Precinct 1.
Okay, this is a replat. It'll require a public hearing, of course. The owner is proposing to create these two residential lots in an existing residential neighborhood. Fairly simple deal, but this is kind of an oddity. This subdivision in itself is kind of an oddity for Hunt County. These are private roads that, per the original plat, would have no county funds used for maintenance. So we get a lot of subdivisions that are private roads and privately maintained roads. This one, though, has an active road maintenance association, or an RMA. A lot of the plats that we deal with, or a lot of the plats that have been passed in the county, the RMAs or the HOAs have gone away, and they don't maintain. This one is active. They charge dues, they maintain their roads, and they maintain them well. I drove this subdivision yesterday, as a matter of fact, just to put fresh eyes on it, and the roads are in good shape, although they are gravel. They're not oil sand. These lots are in the middle of the subdivision. They're not at one end or the other. They're not adjacent to any other paved surface of the road. You're about 437 feet of road length on this that is affected by this replat. To require an oil sand upgrade on this section of road would affect their maintenance ability of the roads, which they maintain very well, as I said. And they're requesting that they not be made to upgrade the road so that this association can continue to maintain properly. So there again, it's an oddity in that they do have an active RMA, and they do take care of their business.
So they're saying that they want us to upgrade their road?
No.
Okay, who's going to upgrade it?
They are not wanting to upgrade. It would be a hardship on the RMA to have a 430-foot section in the middle of their roads that they suddenly would be required to have new equipment or possibly contractors come in and maintain this section of road.
As we've seen with some of these other HOAs and stuff, 2 years down the road, and they don't follow through with collecting funds or maintaining the road, then what happens to them?
Always at risk.
Yep.
But this one's doing good right now, and they've been out there a while.
This is when, actually, this subdivision was done back in the mid-'80s. I personally surveyed in this subdivision throughout the years, and the roads were not maintained. There have been enough lots turned over in this subdivision that they have people who have become active, and they are starting to push, and they've got enough people with interest in the ability to maintain. I think they don't hire a company to come in and do it. I think the neighbors probably maintain. Everybody has a tractor out there, so.
And this is not the first time we've been asked to approve one that we've approved in the past. When it's in the middle of the subdivision in a short section of it, would have to be upgraded, nothing else would be. It never made a whole lot of sense to,
If it was at the end where there was a cul-de-sac, it'd be one thing, or if it was at the very beginning that was adjacent to an oil sand road.
we've taken a different approach on those, but on
It's-
those in the middle, we've,
The thing about it is they would have to upgrade it.
Yes.
They would, not us. But let me bring this up. Basically, there was a gentleman that had this happen before, and they had a workable one. And what he did is we had a contract, or signed a contract. This was done on 2101 Ackenbach, where basically he improved the road all the way through himself, put a cul-de-sac on the end, and he made they got together and basically had monies to be given to it each time, but he went on and did the whole thing up to that point.
That's right.
Is that one worked out all right? Is that feasible in reference to them, since they already have a homeowners association?
and that one was gravel, and it's remained.
That one.
Yes, that was
road
gravel.
as well. They had an active road maintenance association that owned the rights to the easement along the road. He was creating also 2 additional lots.
That's right.
He upgraded the road himself, did the additional cul-de-sac, put in some additional culverts. This road currently, in the state it's in, it doesn't require any kind of upgrade as far as passable all-weather surface. As far as hard surface, it is not.
The thing that I would be real concerned over is to making sure that it is on the plat and worded that this will not be maintained by the county in the future, and basically the homeowners association in itself are the only ones that can maintain it.
It is on the original plat as well.
Yes.
All right,
Ryan, I'm in agreement with you. I don't think it makes sense to require an upgrade there. And when I first came into office, that road was in pretty bad shape, and the homeowners have undertaken a lot of work, effort, and expense to improve it. It's been a hugely improved situation there. I think it'd be an impediment to that if we throw another surface type in there.
Putting a hardship on an existing functioning RMA is just not a good situation. When you have a group that's actually maintaining their roads, that we don't have much control over as far as maintenance, it's a novel concept anymore, and the fact that these guys are making it happen is it's a really good thing for everybody that lives in that neighborhood.
all right, at this time, I'll open it up to public comments. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this item, please come forward and state your name. Being none, there wasn't anybody online, was there? Being none, I'll close the public hearing. Commissioners, entertain a motion for approval.
So moved? Second.
There a motion second, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 13, the final plat of Cobb Addition in Precinct 3. Brian?
Okay, the developer paid $28,000 to upgrade the road. It was approved back on 8/27. Other than that, the subdivision meets all requirements.
So the road has already been upgraded or just in escrow?
The money,
Paid.
the money.
Money's in escrow.
The money has
Okay.
been put in escrow, but they have not cleared any of it out at this time. But it was also for 2 roads, the 3503 and also Signal Road.
Signal Road,
Yes.
too. He had to,
So we need to approve it conditional until the right-of-way's
he
cleared?
gets the few trees out of the right-of-way.
Yeah, it'll be on condition. He's already put the money up, but he needs to go on and do the work to where we can do ours.
Right.
It'll be on.
All right, entertain a motion to approve this condition on the right-of-way being cleared.
So move.
Second.
And the ditch is relocated. That's clear.
That's also a condition of it?
Yes.
All right. Is that okay, Daniel? Yes. Okay. All right, got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item 14, the final plat of B Tree Meadows Addition in Precinct 4.
This is another one, meets all the subdivision requirements. Developer paid for the road upgrade to the amount of $68,000, and it was approved actually last meeting on the 24th. There is some conversation. I had a contact at Encore that I could reach out to, and he's no longer there anymore, so now I've got to establish new contacts for Encore. They've got some power poles that are pretty close to the road. They're going to have to get moved back before the road can be upgraded. So we're in the process of speaking with Encore. I've had some conversation with them, but I'm having to get a new contact, so.
Daniel, what kind of problems, if we don't get that done, does that create for us? Any?
Well, it kind of depends on how wide their easement or right-of-way is.
Encore's? Encore's probably just got our permission to be in our right-of-way.
Yes, yes.
So we have the right to ask them to move it, I think, if they don't have it in their own separate easement.
We do, there's a section of the water code, it's either 3 or 6, chapter that deals with this sort of thing. We can ask them to move it for that expansion. I don't know what the impact of not having that done before the approval of this is. But
This road's 1,285 foot long. Does that power line go all along the whole length of it?
Yes. There's 7 or 8 power poles that are affected here. Now, in the past, well, with every project that I've dealt with or with Encore on, they have always willingly moved the lines. There was only one that they pushed back on, and it was for just a couple of poles, and it was a major feeder for the city of Commerce. So they didn't want to move just 2 poles because it would have been a major undertaking. This is not a major feeder line. It's not a 3-phase line. In fact, it's actually a fairly new line. I think it was put in about 3 years ago. But they have been happy in the past to be able to have a utility easement provided by our plats to put their lines back in.
So I guess if we approve it conditional on that happening, because I don't want people out there doing it, and then we never get the road widened, and we never get the road resurfaced, upgraded, and the poles don't get moved. But then we got a liability there if, Daniel, I think.
I'm not sure how much of their liability is, because the reason that Encore has the immunity that it has is because of its franchise deal effectively that worked out with the state. And so they're required to do certain things, and their liability can't come back on the county. I think that making it a conditional permit, depending on, or conditional approval of the permit or of the plat, depending on that getting done, is the easiest way to address that issue so that there's no accidental getting it a bind financially.
Stalemates, we can address it again at a later date if we need to.
Yes.
Okay. All right, anybody got any other questions? Everybody all right with all right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the final plat of B Tree Meadows Addition in Precinct 4, conditioned upon Encore moving their power lines out of the roadway, right-of-way that's conflicting maybe with the widening of the road.
Back into the utility easement of the property.
Yes.
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Brian. Anybody got anything else? No comments online? Okay. Entertain a motion to go into executive session under items 1 through 4.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. We're going to executive session at 10:54. Thank y'all, everyone, for coming. All right, let's see if we get back up.
We are live, Judge.
All right, we're back in regular session at 11:39. Commissioners, let's go back to new business action, B, action items, approval of budget amendments. And entertain a motion to approve budget amendments.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Do we have anything else?
Yeah, I want to make I move that the county terminate the April 12th, 2022 tax abatement agreement with Nexus Commerce Property due to delinquent taxes.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Anything else? Being none, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second, all in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned at 11:40.